Alright guys, welcome back to the TFL Code A. I am Wolf and with me is Unstable. Our next match is going to be Tassadar versus Ryung.
I don't know, TVP, Tassadar Malta first up. Might be seeing a long game coming in from here.
Yeah, we could. But, you know, another strategy that we could see is the Genius 5-gate, where you sometimes off of one gas into the later two gas do an all-in build with a lot of force fields. You kind of delay the attack. There's always that possibility on this map if the Terran goes for one barracks expand, which is really popular. Yep. So something like that could happen. But we could see, I'd like to see a late game out of Tassadar. I just haven't seen that yet from him. He likes to do timing attacks. A lot of the games that he's played and won, his opponent has made a lot of mistakes that's allowed him to end the game earlier on.
Yeah.
So I want to see kind of how his late game goes. I'm excited about this map because it's big. We could see a late game. I talk about this a lot, but a lot of pro assets right now just don't know how to go from the middle of the mid game to kind of the early end game. They just don't know how to do that. They 6-gate, they 8-gate, they do timing attacks, and on this map sometimes you do see that a lot. There's Tassadar himself. He's on the team. NS Hosa. He took out Fox Lin 2-0. Some interesting strategies. Used a Phoenix build in one of the games as well as in the first game. I can't remember exactly what strategy he did, but essentially Lin made a lot of mistakes and he was just able to capitalize on those. He didn't really all-in. He planned on doing an all-in in the second game, but Lin just made a lot of mistakes and then played a longer game and just won. Now, to get here, Ryung actually 2-0'd Gumiho. Gumiho actually did extremely well in the Team League. He made it through the qualifiers as well. It's very difficult to do. His TVT is quite strong, so Ryung, you can see his TVT is pretty strong, but his TVP, I'm not so sure about.
Yeah.
A lot of Terrans actually have been struggling with that matchup right now.
Well, we'll find out very shortly. The final set for the day. Winner will, of course, advance into the round of 8 that will, for next Monday, I believe that's going to be cast. Yeah, we, of course, have another day of the round of 16 tomorrow. We have 4 more matches.
So, get ready for those.
Yeah. Map set here is Tassadar Alta, then Terminus Re and Zelnaga Fortress. Looks like something might be going a little bit wrong here.
Yeah, Ryung may be having some settings issues. That's Sella, though, his coach coming in, so I'm sure he just wants to talk to him about something, maybe check something really quick.
I have to give that to a lot of the Korean coaches. Pretty much whenever one of their players is here, of course the other team members are at home practicing, but they are always here with their players.
Yeah.
I've seen Sella every day.
I don't see any New Star Hosta players here, though, for Tassadar. And again, that's always something that gets into the back of your mind when you're sitting there in your booth and you're alone. You're on a relatively small team, and your opponent has got his coach hanging out with him. You know, before your game, you're just kind of sitting there by yourself. Sella's sitting with Ryung, talking to him about strategies, talking to him about maps, and Ryung has got Sella there in the booth with him. It's definitely, it gives you a good feeling if you're Ryung. If you're not, if you're Tassadar, you're kind of sitting there like, I wish I had some help, but
people do underestimate the help it does give just to have someone there, even if it's not your coach, just a player in there with the booth, helping you keep yourself calm, just talking things over with you, because sometimes you do forget some of those tiny things, like say you're setting up, you forget your hotkeys or something like that. It helps to have someone there to go, have you done A, B, C.
Exactly. So we'll see, though. All this stuff that we're just talking about are the little things, but those little things do really help. For example, Czech, he had someone here with him today. Maybe didn't really help out for him, but it's very clear that something was not right mentally with Czech last game. And to have a coach there in between games to say, whoa, it's okay, you lost a lot of drones, you don't normally play like this, calm down, play a good second game. If someone was back there telling him that, patting him on the back, he would have been, I think, in a more stable mental state in the second game, would have dealt with those bunkers a lot better.
Yep.
So those kind of things do really add up, and Ryung has actually left the game, I see in the lobby, so I'm sure he's just working out those technical glitches here. So sit tight. While we wait, maybe go get a Pepsi, go get a Gatorade.
Yep.
So
actually, that was Tassadar just running past us as well, so he wasn't even in the booth.
Maybe there's a lot of issues going on with the computers. It's a mystery. It's always a mystery. I know it's a mystery for the viewers. It's also a mystery for us a lot of the time.
No one tells us what's going on.
Well, sometimes we get to know.
Sometimes we do, yes.
If it's very obvious, but this time, I don't think the people that even tell us what's going on know it's a mystery to them too. Only Tassadar and Ryung know what's going on, and they're not telling anybody. So, like we were saying earlier, A lot of different builds you can do on this map. You can go Nexus first. There's the 1 barracks expand. There's a 3-gate pressure build you can do on this map where if your opponent goes for that fast command center, you try to punish him for it. And sometimes a lot of players go for that 3-gate pressure build, and then if they see a very fast command center, like a really, really fast one to make it at natural, then they'll just add 2 gates and do the 5-gate instead, add another gas. So that's a possibility you could do, but it's not an all-in build. If your opponent's trying to tech and do the 3-gate pressure build and make your Nexus, pretty good map for that. You won't see anything like a 3-gate sentry type of expand. You just don't really need that. The map's so large, your opponent can't really hit you with a timing attack where sentries would be effective. It's a wide open ramp, though.
We will see how it goes. We're still waiting for Ryung to rejoin the lobby, so something must be going on there.
Someone's saying that Ryung is having issues with his headphones, so
there we go.
That's very, very important. Imagine if you had to play a game when your headset wasn't working, and
I've done that before, and it seems that every time that I don't have headset, something happens that like a nuke comes down and you don't hear it or something like that.
Well, I still don't know what nuclear launch detected is in Korean, so when nukes happen on these big maps, sometimes I just don't see them. One time on Zelnaga Caverns, someone went for a fast nuke, and they just nuked my entire army. It was like on the Zelnaga Watchtower, and they just nuked my entire army. I didn't notice at all.
Yeah.
I didn't have an observer with my army. It was a cloaked ghost. Just killed the entire army. Oops, my bad.
Yeah. And normally you just see these big, massive warnings. You go around checking everywhere. You don't hear that. Just, no.
Well, back then I also had my little tooltip things on the left side disabled, but I put those back on just for that reason.
Looks like we're waiting for something here for
There's our
Ryung.
Korean commentators. Tassadar over there.
On the right in the red.
He is also the guy who wears the justifiable shirt during the intros.
Yep.
Does some interesting poses, sometimes like this. Sometimes like this. I like those intros. I don't remember Tassadar's intro, though.
Neither do I.
Maybe it was like a Protoss type of... Or Tassadar, a hero in the Starcraft 1 campaign. Will he come back in Starcraft 2? Who knows?
But no, we're only a third of the way through the story.
Yeah. I actually really like the campaign story. Have you played through it?
Yes, of course I did.
I actually played through it recently a second time because Torch and Molotrap were both telling me they played through and got all the achievements, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I beat it. I didn't really care. I went through it on Brutal, and they were like, you got to get all the achievements, man. I was like, well, I don't really care that much. They're like, no, it's the only reason to play. Why would you not get all the achievements? Then I told them they were silly. We were out at barbecue. Then I came back to the house, and I was like, oh, what the hell? You know, I'll play through the first mission. Redid the entire campaign, almost got all the achievements.
See, I did that as well, but back then, at the beginning, the C accounts, the ones we get in Australia, could not go to the NA server. There was like a 2-month-ish break, and I went and got it, and I didn't realize that as soon as I started playing on an A, because there is a certain cap that you get on the C server, I lost it all. And I didn't have all my icons, I didn't have my points, I didn't have anything, and I was like, I don't play on C anymore, so... This is a big waste of time for me, really.
Yeah. You had to regain... Oh, did you go and regain them?
No.
Oh, okay.
It took me way too long. I was like, nah, not doing that
Imagine
again.
if I had to play through the campaign on every Smurf account I played because I felt bad about the achievement icons. I have so many Smurf accounts. That'd be so much time sunk into campaign.
With your what is your current challenge? Get Grandmaster on Taiwan, I think it is?
Yeah, that's my current challenge. I'm trying to become Grandmaster of Taiwan. I want to be #1 because I played against the guy who's #1 there right now, and he's pretty bad. I can beat him, so I want to do that. All right. Game starting. Let's jump into it. Tassadar versus Ryung. All right, over here at the top left position, member of the team NS Hosa, also a hero for the Protoss in StarCraft 1. He was killed. He is
NS Hosa Tassadar.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, I remember, and I was like, you're not Tassadar, you liar. There he is. Down here at the bottom left position. Member of the team Slayers, one of their better Terrans. He is...
Slayers Ryung.
I was told that Ryung actually means like a soul or kind of a ghostly figure, so that's why it's the icon there. Gonna find out pretty soon what types of builds these guys are doing. I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest with you guys. Also, special thanks to G-Skill and Pepsi for making this tournament possible. So there's the gate. We're not going to be seeing a Nexus first from Tassadar. Doesn't surprise me. In a high-stakes game, like, this one. And then Code A, for example, where players are known to do all-ins. Code A, you guys have been watching Code A. There are a lot of all-ins, timing attacks, so going for Nexus first can be quite scary. It's much safer to get the gateway.
It's very common on this map, though.
Exactly.
So it's a big 50-50 whether you want to go for something like that or not. But he is going to get his probe in here.
And that probe is going to see no gas. He's going to know right off the bat it is going to be a fast command center. Yep. And to be honest, he may decide to switch his build up based on this. You see almost every Terran go 1 barracks expand on this map.
Yeah.
The question is, will Ryung make the command center inside of his base, or will he make it at the natural? That becomes a huge, huge deal.
Yeah. He does have that SCV sitting there behind the mineral line. He might be willing to put it there, but he really wants to see what's coming in from Tassadar here.
Complete.
Oh, he's not actually going to make the command center at his natural now. Will we see Tassadar punish this, or will we see him take his own fast expansion?
Well, Ryung does scout with that SCV, that there is no second gas. Sees the pylon as well. So knows it's going to not be a super fast Nexus off of 1 gas. Stalker being chrono boosted out here. Warp gate research soon to follow. Now, as soon as that SCV dies, we're going to really find out what Tassadar is up to. He may go for a 1 gate expand.
Yep.
Could be a 4 gate or even a 5 gate.
With a lot of sentries, as we saw Genius use.
When you do the 5 gate, you can do it with 1 or 2 gas. You just eventually have to get that second gas.
Yeah.
And the SCV has left now. It's not going to be able to return. We're going to either see gateways or a Nexus here pretty soon. There's the bunker going down at the front of Ryung's natural. Even going to send the Zealot up to pressure here. The Stalker coming to join him as well. That bunker may not be done in time. It's going to finish, I think, just in time. He may decide to run past, though. And here they come. The probe over here as well. Does finish.
So that bunker's down. Now we do see a Nexus coming out here from Tassadar.
Yep, and that probe may trigger Ryung to make multiple bunkers. He may freak out thinking, if he's got a probe there, he's making a forward pile and he might be 4-gating me. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
But actually, smartly, Ryung knows that that is not the right timing. Hold that thought. A Stalker at the front of the natural of Ryung almost gets killed. Didn't get a shot of it, but this SCV scouts the Nexus. That's also a big deal. And anticlimactic there. Just a little probe zap. So he's going up to 4 gates now off of those 2 bases. Continuing to pressure with that Stalker at the front of Ryung's natural. Wants to do as much damage to these Marines as possible. Is he going to cancel the Nexus?
I think he is.
And 4 gate? He might do that.
He's got that pylon at the front. That's
it's going to delay
like
his timing just a little bit, but it can be quite effective. I don't think Ryung is going to expect this.
Well, there's only that 1 bunker. He is checking around with those Marines down at the bottom. I don't think it's going to be enough time. Those 2 Stalkers at the front still being very frustrating here for Ryung.
Yeah, very pesky Stalkers indeed. The Nexus is finishing. And it does finish. He does not cancel it. So he may just try to hit with 4 gates off of 2 bases. And you can support about 4 gates on 2 bases, really. Quite easily. You can't support 4 gates on 1 base. You can get a few units in with the Warpin, but after that it gets bad. This is just going to be a delayed 4 gate with a Nexus. I like this. He's going to target down the bunker. And there's no SCVs. This is looking bad for Ryung. He's made a reactor, so one of his barracks is completely unusable at this moment.
He's focusing down those Marines. Does lose that forward pylon.
It's alright. He's remaking a second one. Marines falling back to the depots. There is a Marauder in the mix. Basically, Tassadar does not want to get surrounded by SCVs, but he wants to do as much damage as possible here. The concussive shells did just finish. Ryung trying to lift that command center and take it away. A lot of SCVs going down here. The reactor will go down as well. It's a huge investment making a reactor. To lose that, it's very problematic. Mule gets taken out. SCVs falling left and right, making another pylon.
He needs to be careful of these Marauders in the mix, though. He's got a lot more Marines coming out as well.
And that pylon, or rather supply depot, will fall.
Hasn't supply capped Ryung just yet. He did lose quite a few SCVs in the mix. He's got about 41 over 54 supply. More Zealots being warped in to buffer a lot of this damage. Needs to be careful. One of those Stalkers is going to go down. The Zealots coming in at the front as well, focusing down Marauders now. Almost all Marauders left in here. The Zealots are going to work on the Marines as well. SCVs getting in the way, causing a lot of damage, but I think Tassadar might have done it here. He's got more units warping in. Even more SCVs being brought down now. Lots of Stalkers left in this mix though, focusing down all of these Marauders at the front.
And yeah, I think this is going to be it. He's just losing too many SCVs. He's got 5 SCVs left, and that's all of them right there. Losing that depot as well. It's not going to get supply blocked for a while because he doesn't have any supply to begin with. Marauders at the front taking a lot of damage. Nice micro by Tassadar, targeting down those Marauders when he can fire on them, taking them out. And that's going to be it. GG.
And we thought it was going to be a macro game.
Well, I thought maybe. But I got to say, that build that Tassadar did is a build that I do a lot. Usually I make a 5th gateway because you have this timing where you're building up a lot of resources. I want to explain this to people because people that don't play Pro don't really understand. You can't really support 4 gates off of 1 base. The reason that people can 4 gate is because when you have those 4 gateways, building, you're not spending any money. And so they're just building up that money. Then the warp gate's finished, you warp in a round of units. You still have a bunch of extra money, and you warp in another round of units. And then maybe you can warp in another round of units, but then after that, you just cannot support those 4 gateways anymore. But if you have 2 bases, you're just always warping in 4 units. So you've got enough money always. You can get the 5th one. You can usually support up to 5, really. You get to the 6th gate, and if you're trying to tech with it, you can't. But anyway, that build was pretty interesting. The timing was weird, and I think that's what caught Ryung off guard.
Yeah, he only had that 1 bunker. If he hadn't have seen that Nexus, he probably would have cut down 2 or 3 more bunkers and definitely would have been able to hold that off eventually.
Yeah.
But just caught off guard. That's what happens.
The cool thing about that is I was going, maybe he's going to cancel the Nexus, and then I realized that he just had so many minerals stacked up, there's no advantage to canceling the Nexus. You might as well just keep it.
Yeah.
It's just a slightly delayed 4 gate. Did you guys notice? I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but he spent all of his Chrono Boost on those Stalkers, didn't Chrono Boost Warp Gate, spent it on probes and Stalkers only. So that Warp Gate research came out around the same time as the Nexus was finishing up.
Next map is going to be Terminus Re.
Yep, Terminus Re. The map is loading. I'm pretty excited. It's another huge map. A lot of different options on this map. The natural, not as easy to attack via 4 gate. There's not a huge ramp. There's a narrow choke point, so if you have a nicely positioned bunker, you can hold 4 gates relatively easily, especially 4 gates that come delayed with a Nexus. If you're prepared, you'll hold them, and I think that Ryung will be prepared this time.
Yep.
So we're going to jump into that game right now. I am Wolf, and with me is Unstable here at the GSL Code.